By the time we get to the situation of the Jewish people in the High Middle Ages, 14th, 15th centuries, the situation of the Jewish population of Europe has so deteriorated to the point where Jews are basically completely physically and economically marginalized. Economically, Jews are locked out of virtually all professions. Couldn't be doctors, couldn't be lawyers, nothing. Allowed to basically lend money and peddle, sell what they could sell out of suitcases, and physically marginalized by being ghettoized. The term ghetto, we know, comes from Italy first. Jews being stuck into it comes from the word foundry. Jews being stuck into the worst part of the city, the low part of town by the docks where the sewage and the smelly factories were. And ghettos became a very common part of Jewish life in Europe, whether it was a ghetto in the middle of a city or a shtetl in Eastern Europe, places where Jews were confined to live in. And we look at it as something negative, but it was a blessing and a curse. The curse was, of course, that Jews were stuck into a cramped, crowded, often unsanitary conditions. Their movements were limited. They couldn't leave at night. But the blessing, of course, was that it kept the Jewish people together in a community, albeit forced. We see what happens today when Jews live scattered amongst non-Jews. We have massive assimilation. And it also enabled the Jews to defend themselves, albeit when you wanted to attack the Jews, you knew where to find them in the ghetto. But at least Jews were in their own little walled fortress and can often fight off the non-Jewish world. But Jews found themselves crushed, completely marginalized. All of that Jewish drive that enabled the Jewish people to do so much, to accomplish so much, was unable to express itself. But when we jump ahead in history to the Enlightenment and we see the walls of the ghettos come down, and after Napoleon the Jew is emancipated, we'll see that the Jews, who each and every Jew has that little high-powered Jewish engine, will run out of the ghettos and reignite that incredible spark that's within every single one of the Jewish people and explode in an incredible explosion of creativity, which will have a huge impact on their modern world and in Europe.